It is a Friday morning, and we welcome you to Tea na European Union, a Friday edition. And of course, my name is Dennis. Looking at your host on this segment. Remember that we are on every Wednesdays and of course Fridays on ZNBC Radio 2, where we have these very, very fruitful discussions with different experts from different organizations. Today and this particular morning, we want to discuss access to finance for agribusiness, how to better support the agribusiness or the agri sector. And my guest this particular morning is none other than Mr. Cheyo Mwenechanya, and this is an agricultural finance expert with 18 years experience in both public and private sector, developing, implementing a strategy, and we'll get to learn more of his doings as we get to discuss. First of all, let me welcome you to Tea na European Union Friday edition. Good morning.
Good morning, Dennis. Good morning, listeners, and it's a pleasure to have me on your show.
Great, and of course we'll be discussing this topic, bearing in mind that you, our listener out there, eager, to get to learn one or two things that we try to bring to the fore on the program that we started weeks ago, and we've brought quite a number of experts that have spoken, to the listener out there. And today we have yet another interesting topic that we want to discuss. And remember that you can also, access some of these discussions, or if you want to learn more, you can, get us at EU for Mulimi on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and get to learn more, follow, and ask those questions that you feel you can ask at that particular moment. Access to finance for agribusiness, how to better support the agri sector, is our topic for this morning. My guest is Mr. Cheyo Mwenechanya. Now let's get to first set the ball rolling by understanding where you come from, and of course telling us more about Zanaco and the European Union partnership. How did Zanaco venture into the collaboration with the European Investment Bank, and is this the first collaboration with the European Union?
Thank you, Dennis, and good morning, listeners, once more. This is not the first partnership that we've had with the European Union, and in this case, the European Investment Bank, EIB. We have had a relationship before. In 2018, we did. But this is more specific to the agriculture value chain. So this is now mainly tailor-made for agriculture. And as Zanaco, we felt that this is an important partnership because we are very committed to growing the agriculture sector. We realize that Zambia's key growth area is actually agriculture. So we feel and we are committed to ensuring that this sector grows. And we are glad that we entered into this partnership because it creates more opportunities for the growth of the agriculture sector in Zambia.
Great. Could you just explain to us and of course our listeners out there the benefit for Zanaco of the EIB's Agri Value Chain facility and link with the enterprise project?
Yeah, so the benefit is such that the businesses that would like to be able to access finance and through the Enterprise Zambia project is that the Enterprise Challenge Fund, as it were, is providing grants to support some of those projects across the entire agricultural value chain. And we as Zanaco can provide what we may call a co-funding. So the Enterprise Zambia project requires that they provide 50% grant. And as Zanaco, we can provide the other 50% through co-funding. So this partnership also comes in with various support as well. So it's just not just finance, but also through that process, Enterprise Zambia is helping businesses to be able to come up with plans that are more viable, as it were. And we can provide a co-funding to those projects. So that's how that partnership has come into play at the moment.
Great. You're listening to TINA European Union on this Friday, and this particular morning I'm speaking to Cheyo Mwenechanya, and we are discussing quite an interesting topic for this particular morning. If you're just joining us, please stay glued and don't move and get to learn one or two things that we are bringing to the fore on this edition of the program. Now, Cheyo, the EIB facility also aims at strengthening the entire value chain from the smallholder producers to the final consumers. How is Zanaco facilitating this process?
So first of all, we realize that agriculture is not just one component. We view agriculture from the value chain perspective. So that's for us very important. And this facility caters for businesses and players across the entire value chain. So what we mean by that is from farm to fork, if I may put it that way. So meaning all producers that are farmers, from the primary part, which is production, to those that provide services to farmers, that is off the farm gate. So the facility is so important because it grows the entire value chain. Then secondly, also, what is also very important about this facility is that we realize agriculture is a long-term investment. This facility ranges from, it's for capital projects, by the way, Dennis. It's for capital projects, meaning that we finance projects from 24 months or 2 years to 7 years, so that we can strengthen the agriculture value chain by providing long-term facilities, because oftentimes the sector and the industry has cried that we banks or financial institutions do not provide long-term finance, considering that agriculture oftentimes is long-term investment. So this facility tends to, we are solutioning for that. And also by providing investment means that we want to see long-term returns in the sector. We don't want to go in short-term and we are out. So this facility is strengthening that. And it's also going for businesses, small and large. So that also caters for everyone in the value chain. I think oftentimes there's also been concern that facilities like this only cater for large corporates or large companies or large businesses. But this one, actually, the qualification is even businesses with one employee it's up to 3,000 employees do qualify. So this, we feel that it's addressing some of the needs that have been asked from the agriculture sector.
Indeed, right. Follow us at EU for Mulimi on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And of course, we are live every Wednesday and Friday at 7:30. It's T, the European Union. Indeed, right. T in the European Union, live on ZNBC Radio 2. My guest this particular morning on this discussion is Cheyo Mwenechanya, and Cheyo is, the head agriculture banking for Zanaco, looking after segments across the agri value chain, from primary farmers to off-takers, and of course service providers, including corporates. And of course, he's well experienced in sustainable agriculture finance, structuring, and of course other areas that we get to learn as we discuss on this particular platform. Now, Cheyo, women play a very important role for the Zambian economy. How is Zanaco supporting women in business and in agriculture specifically?
So as Zanaco, first of all, part of this facility with the EIB is we want to also targeting women. So we're encouraging women and youths actually to be able to access this facility. And not only finance that Zanaco provides, we also provide non-financial services. We've got a women banking proposition for women, and that ranges from capacity building for women-led businesses to help them grow their capacity, to realize that it's not just finance they do need, they need capacity building. We're also providing network opportunities by bringing them together, creating opportunities for them to network with other businesses, but also creating markets. So apart from finance, as I put it, we're also providing non-financial services to women. And we do have a proposition as Zanaco for women banking. and we're happy so far in terms of the progress. And I think we're one of those that started quite early in this area, and we are glad that we're providing solution also for women. And more importantly, as I mentioned, is that the EIB facility is also available to women-led businesses in agriculture. So that is another value add that Zanaco is providing to the women and those businesses that are led by women in agriculture.
Some of the experts that we've had on this platform have, given us some idea on how they get to, look after whoever is involved in a particular, project that they're looking after. Now, I want to get it from you. If you would, recommend young Zambians to venture into the farming sector, and have you identified specific value chains where you see more opportunities for young people?
Yeah, in fact, young people, we must encourage young people to participate in the agriculture value chain and growth, because we feel they're the future, and they have the energy, if we may put it that way. But I think there are various sectors young people can participate in across the entire value chain, from production itself. That is one area that they can participate in. And let me put it this way, Dennis, that during COVID, the sector was importance was actually amplified. You can imagine during when borders closed and you are unable to produce food, we realized that this sector is extremely important. So young people, youth, can contribute to the sustainability of the economy by being able to produce the food for the country. And there's also opportunities for them to venture into value addition, because this is one area that government policy is emphasizing. We produce enough, but we're also looking for opportunities to be able to value add what we produce. And I think not only would it increase in terms of for export opportunities, there could be export opportunities. Zambia is interconnected with about 8 countries. So there's that opportunity that we can bring in Forex if we do value add. But not only that, we can also create employment. A number of youths at the moment are seeking employment and are the most unemployed, and this sector is one of those that can employ. In fact, currently employs more than any other sector, especially in rural areas. So this sector is so important for the country, in terms of providing food, in terms of contributing to Forex, in terms of employment. So, and the youths are encouraged to participate. This is one of the reasons why we are encouraging youths to venture into this sector, and also get in touch with us to be able to access facility to support those projects that they are doing.
Right, it's always a pleasure having experts to come and share with us this very important information regarding to a specific subject like the one we are discussing this morning. Let's conclude by maybe looking at what recommendations you would have for the agriculture sector, and do you see weaknesses that should be addressed more urgently, or do you see strength as that should be that should leverage more rapidly?
Yeah, so there are many more things that we can strengthen, and this partnership is one of them. It's addressing, because the partnership or agreement also is bringing technical support. We need to grow capacity of our players in the sector, and this is one area it's strengthening. The other thing is also strengthen market linkages. I think there's a lot of activity, but we can strengthen market linkages so that we can strengthen. The other one is access to finance. It's one of the things that have often been sought, and there's often a cry from the sector that financial institutions are not providing enough finance to this sector. So as Zanaco and EIB, this is one of the reasons why we entered into this partnership, to close the gap or to strengthen some of the weaknesses that we've noticed in the sector. We do see some strength, as I put it. We can probably add value, increase our GDP contribution from this sector. It's currently 3%, but we can grow it more, because there's a lot that this sector can do. And recently, I think from the Zambia statistic, is that non-traditional exports increased, and on account of agriculture. So we can add more, and Zambia does need some Forex, and it's important away from copper. This is one of the way the country can diversify. So there's huge opportunities in this sector.
Great. We've been addressing access to finance for agribusiness, how to better support the agri sector. And my guest this morning has been Mr. Cheyo Mwenechanya. And of course, he is an agricultural finance expert with 18 years experience in both public and private sector developing and implementing strategy. He has experience in sustainable agriculture finance, structuring, portfolio development, workout, smallholder finance, extension service, both local and of course the region. Now, let's not forget that Cheyo is also the head agriculture business for Zanaco, looking after segments across the agri value chain from primary farmers to off-takers and of course service providers, including corporates. It's been a pleasure talking to you on this platform, and I hope the tea was great. It was hot enough.
It was hot enough, and thank you for having me.
Great. So this has been Tea in European Union. Remember to follow us at EU for Mulimi on Facebook, Instagram, and of course Twitter. My name is Dennis Ilukana. Until next time around, when I invite you for yet another cup of tea, it's good morning.